Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany and this is my channel, Who's Your Handmade. Thank you so much for stopping by today. In today's video, I'm talking all about Project Dress-A-Girl 2024. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by today. And if you're already a friend of mine, thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for returning video after video, and above all, thank you for your friendship. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Are you participating in Project Dress-A-Girl? Have you been doing so for years? This is the 4th year running, I believe, that we're doing this Project Dress-A-Girl effort. So let me know down below in the comment section if you are taking part. Today's video is all about Project Dress-A-Girl. What I like to do with my videos that are themed around Project Dress-A-Girl is to feature a pattern, and I am featuring one. You can see the dress there behind me. So what I'm going to do is talk about the pattern a little bit. I'm going to give you some information, where to find it. We'll look at it for just a second, and then I'm going to walk you through sewing one of these dresses up in the last part of this video. So they're going to be step by step, kind of a sew with me. I wouldn't necessarily call it a full tutorial. I'm not showing you how to do basic sewing things, but it is kind of a sew with me. So if you want to try this pattern yourself, you're a little nervous about it, you can put my video on here in the background and do the steps with me as we go. Let's talk about this pattern. This is a free pattern. I love a free pattern, and this is a great one. It comes from Scattered Thoughts of a Crafty Mom. She has a blog, a website, that will be linked down below. She also has a YouTube channel, and that will be linked as well. She does a lot of tutorials on her channel. I believe she has one for this dress as well. I don't want to step on her toes at all and say that I'm doing a tutorial of her dress. Definitely want to give credit where credit's due. Go over to her channel and watch her tutorial if you want to see that for sure. She has a really great free dress here, you guys. This is a great one. Comes in a really wide size range, 12 months, all the way up to 14 years. That's a huge size range. She also provides you with a free PDF pattern, and it's a great one. She has a really easy to assemble, not very many pages, a dress that you can put together, and it has all the sizes there together. I believe there's even layers. Every year she kind of does an update to her pattern, and I believe she's done the layers piece already. So it's a great pattern. It comes with short sleeves. It comes with a long sleeve piece if you wanted to do that. I've opted for the short sleeves. And she also gives you some variations on how to finish the sleeves. And then she has a lot of other free patterns on her website. So definitely nose around on her website. Like I said, I'll link it down below. She has another peasant style dress that has tiers. So if you're in the mood for some gathering, you can check that pattern out as well. I have done the more basic one. This is an A-line dress with elastic at the neckline and at the sleeves to make that peasant style dress. There are a lot of requirements for Project Dress-A-Girl dresses. There are a lot of do's and don'ts. I'm going to refer you to Mari from Mari Sews, to her channel and her videos. Those will be linked down below. Make sure you check out those rules. Make sure you're making these dresses into the specifications that are required. So let's take a look at the dress that I have made. And this is the one that I actually sew up with you in that sew with me. It's going to be at the end of the video here. I have used 100% cotton fabric from my stash. I had quite a bit of this in my stash, and this one is the size 14. I can get the full dress. You can see it is quite long. This is the largest size. They're available. I wanted to make one of the bigger sizes, as I believe older girls also need dresses as well. Being the size 14, this did take a little bit more fabric than I was anticipating. It took about 2 yards to get the pattern pieces on the yardage. You do have one long pattern piece for the entire front and the back. You could definitely do something with breaking those apart if you ran out of fabric, but I wanted to leave them together and then have fabric for the sleeves as well. So I used about 2 yards of fabric for this dress. You use 1/4 inch elastic here in the neckline, in the sleeves. You have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. The instructions are great. Sometimes you never know what kind of instructions you get with a free pattern, but these are awesome. She did a great job with these instructions. So don't worry at all about the instructions for this free pattern. They're there on her blog. I've added patch pockets. I just drew this pocket myself. I took one of my hands and made it slightly smaller, and then I put 2 of those pockets there on the front. You have a nice hem finish at the bottom. This is just a really great pattern. Simple, fun, very quick to put together, and it's free. What more could you ask for? One more thing before we get into the sew with me portion of this video. Last year I talked about the pillowcase dress. This is another free pattern. I will link it down below. I'll link my video down below. I also did a sew with me for that dress as well if you're looking for yet another pattern to try out this year. So give that video a watch. And if you need more information about that pattern, about the pillowcase pattern, you can shoot me an email. It's down below in the description box. I can even send you the pattern and the armhole pieces. No problem. Just let me know. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and we're going to get right into the sew with me. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. If you're interested in that sew with me, stick around. Okay, let's get to it, everyone. So I've printed off my pattern piece, put all the pieces together. I've traced off the size 14, and I have cut out a sleeve and then 1 pattern piece for the front and back. So I'm going to cut out 2 pieces for the front and back and then 2 sleeves. This is the fabric that I've chosen from my stash. This is 100% cotton from Joann's. Had a lot of this in my stash and I'm excited to use it up. Okay, I've got my pattern pieces cut out. There are 2 sleeves, the front and the back. And you want to add pockets. So I've cut out my pockets. I cut out 4 pocket pieces, and I'll walk you through how I do my pockets here. I'm going to sew them right sides together. I'm doing 2 pockets. You can do just 1 or however many you want. Sewing these right sides together, and then we're going to leave a little hole for turning. So make sure you don't sew all the way around it. Make sure that you leave a small hole for turning the pockets inside out. There, I'm just showing you where I'm going to sew. So let's sew around these pockets. Got my sewing done, and I'm going to hit them with the iron, and then I'm going to turn them right sides out. This is the easiest way for me to make a clean looking pocket that I have found. Instead of hemming around just 1 pocket piece, I just double it, sew around it, and turn it. Definitely hit them with an iron again, and you're good to go. Okay, I'm going to take my front dress piece and I'm going to put these pockets on right now. Make sure you do this before you assemble your dress. It's so much easier when you just go ahead and put the pocket placement on while the dress is in just the front piece. Definitely makes it a lot easier. So I'm just lining them up, seeing where I kind of want the pockets to be, making sure they're straight. Marking my marks here. Okay, this steam seam I have been using all the time for attaching things that I want to stay in place. So I love using this. Get you some of this off of Amazon, guys. It is so handy. So I'm putting that onto the back side of these pockets. I'm going to peel off the sticky part and just leave the sticky part onto the pockets, and then you just hit it with the iron and it kind of acts like a little bit of an adhesive, a little bit of a tape to just keep that pocket in place so it doesn't move around on you when you're trying to sew it down. So handy, so nice. Definitely get you some of that Steam-A-Seam if you have not tried that already. I have the 1/4 inch wide Steam-A-Seam that I'm using here today. So I've attached my 2 pockets. Now we're ready to sew those down. Here I am just sewing the pockets. You want to turn at your corners. I forgot to mention that you do want to put the end with the opening down there at the bottom so you can sew that closed. And then I'm just sewing around 3 sides of the pocket. Make sure you backstitch. Okay, there's 2 pockets attached. Got that done. Now let's work on assembling the actual dress. So this is where your instructions are going to come into play if you're following along with the blog post. So she gives great instructions. Definitely follow along with those. I'm doing exactly what she says to do. We're going to attach the sleeves. So you're just going to pin. I pin anyway. You can pin if you like. Pin down your seam there. And we're going to attach both sleeves to each side of the front. I started with the front pattern piece. Okay, just showing you how it's going to look. Let's sew down these sides here. It's a 1/4 inch seam allowance, I believe, on this pattern. Go ahead and check your instructions. She tells you what seam allowance to use. So I'm using my just straight foot, straight stitch on my regular sewing machine, and then I'm going to go in with my serger now and finish my seams. You can use pinking shears, you can zigzag if you don't have a serger. You don't have to finish your seams with a serger like I am. Hit it with an iron to set your seams. And then grab your back dress piece, and we're going to do kind of the same process with the sleeves. We're going to attach them there at the underarm seam and kind of just repeat the process here. Make sure you don't get your arm pieces twisted, and just sew down those seams as well, repeating the process that we just completed. Going to sew down that side and the other side as well. Okay, so I've sewn them and I have serged all the seams, and now that's what your dress is going to look like. Next step is to sew down the side seams. So you want to nest the underarm seams right there under the arms. Again, I'm using pins. I like to keep my fabric in place. And you're just going to sew down both sides with that 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's how it looks laid out. I've pinned both sides, and now I'm going to sew. You can probably see my show going there in the background. I have discovered Fire Country on Netflix, and I was eating up watching that first season. Okay, here I'm making my casing. We're ready to make the casing now. So I use this ruler here in my friction pen to mark my lines where I need to do my ironing. So then I've taken this over to my iron and I am folding it over a 1/4 inch here. And then you're gonna fold it again to make the casing. I'm doing the neckline first, and then you repeat the same process with the armholes, and we'll get to that in just a second. So I've done my ironing, and now you're just gonna stitch that down. Again, remember to leave a hole for the insertion of your elastic, so don't sew all the way around. Make sure you're starting and stopping a little bit apart so that you have that hole for turning. I'll show you mine here in just a second. Right there, you can kind of see how my stitching starts and stops a little bit from each other. There's the hole where I'll thread the elastic in, and the neckline casing is done. Gonna do the same thing on the armholes. I just went ahead and did it all at the same time. 1/4 inch for your first fold over, and then you're going to mark again for your second. The instructions gives you all of these measurements within the instructions, so definitely download those instructions, or look at the blog post and it'll show you what to fold over. It has really great instructions. I removed the arm of my machine so that I can feed the arm of the dress in. That just makes it a little bit easier to sew in the round there of that hole, that armhole. Again, make sure you leave a hole for the insertion of the elastic, and you're just repeating the process from the neckline. That's what your arm casing looks like. And I've done that twice there. You can see the casing on the other side. Now let's cut our elastic. You can't see my writing very good there, but if you go to the blog post, it'll tell you the length of elastic that you need per the size that you are making. So I'm cutting my neckline elastic, and I'm going to cut the armhole elastic as well. And I just thread elastic, kind of a old-fashioned, kind of basic way. I get myself a safety pin, and I'm gonna thread it through the casing, working it through with my fingers. I'm gonna watch the tail of it and make sure I don't catch it up into the casing. When it gets to be kind of small, I'm going to catch it with another pin and just kind of hook it there. So then I took the 2 ends that I pulled through to my sewing machine, and I've secured those. So this is where I have closed up the neckline. I did this as well for the armholes as well. It's all the same process. So after I've finished threading through the elastic and I have sewn the elastic ends together, this is the next step to close up the hole that we had left for the casing. Trim up your little threads there, and you have your casings done. The elastic is in. Last step here is to hem the bottom. This is really simple. You guys are at the last step already. So I am serging the bottom of my hem. You don't have to. You can fold it over twice, kind of like we did the casing, so that that raw edge is encased. Here I'm just showing you, they say to do a 1-inch hem. So I'm going to be making some measurements again with my ruler and my friction pen, marking where I should be hemming it up to. This dress does feature something of a curved hem. You could just square that off when you are making your pattern pieces if you wanted to make it a more square hem for more ease of hemming. It's up to you. The little curve is kind of cute, but it is kind of frustrating when you're trying to hem. Okay, I have taken my dress over to the ironing board again, and I'm just going to iron up the hem of this dress. Again, that curved edge is just a little bit frustrating, so I've got my ham out a little bit. It helps me a little bit there, curving that hem upward. It worked out fine. You just kind of have to maneuver it a little bit. And I'm securing with pins, and then I'm going to stitch this hem down. Okay, last step here, guys, is to just sew that hem down. Just using a straight stitch. I do lengthen my stitch length to a 3 for sewing hems. I think it just lends a little bit prettier look to a finished hem, but you can hem however you like to, your preference. And there we go. There is the hemmed bottom. And here's our dress. And it's done. Very simple, very easy, really great pattern. Definitely give it a try. Okay, here at the end of the video, we're going to have a few words from Maddie Sews. She is the founder of Project Dress a Girl, and she wanted us to insert a little clip. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys.
I'm Maddie from Maddie Sews, and I'm the founder of Project Dress a Girl, the month-long event where we all sew dresses for girls living in extreme poverty. All of the dresses that we're making need to be able to slip over a little girl's head without any kind of fasteners, all except fabric ties and elastic. You can use those too. Now you can sew any size up to a size 12, but please make sure that your fabrics are all natural fabrics. They can be a blend, so if you've got a blend that is mostly natural, that's okay. But do make sure that your fabrics are not sheer. And if you by chance happen to have a sheer fabric, go ahead and line that. And while we're talking about fabrics, let's avoid any of those cartoon character themes like Disney characters and the like. No words on your fabric, because we don't know where these dresses are gonna go and what language they speak. No country specifics like flags or holiday themes. And please, no pillowcases. Don't waste your precious sewing time making a dress out of a pillowcase that won't get donated. No one wants that to happen. Do include at least one pocket on your dress. The more the merrier. They're the perfect place to place your Project Dress a Girl label or your Dress a Girl Around the World label. My favorite place is to put it right on the little shoulder right there. You can get these labels right here, the Project Dress a Girl labels, over on my website. The sales from these labels do help with the event cost. Anything that is left over ends up getting donated to Dress a Girl Around the World. But of course, you can also use this label that you can get from Dress a Girl Around the World. And this year, I'm really hoping that we can hit that 7,000 mark, so that way we can help 7,000 little girls. We keep track of all of the dresses that are getting donated, which means that you, my friend, you need to let me know how many dresses you've made for a donation. And you can do that one of two ways. You can either post your picture on Instagram using the hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2024 and tag me at Mari Sews for Curves. If you're not on Instagram, no worries. Just send me an email to projectdressagirl@gmail.com and my team will be happy to record your final numbers. Now, if you're wondering, well, Mari, how do I actually collect these dresses? I've got you covered. You can either find a local ambassador who has opted in to receiving dresses from this event. And if you don't have a nearby ambassador, feel free to ship me your dress. If you have any questions or want any details, go and check out the kickoff video over at Mari Sews. You can also send an email to me at projectdressagirl@gmail.com. And by the way, in case you haven't done it yet, make sure that you subscribe to this video right down there. Check out those little buttons down there. Subscribe, hit that bell, and turn on all of your notifications because you don't want to miss any of the amazing videos that this amazing YouTube creator is making for you. I mean, you really don't want to miss another dress, do you? So go and hit that subscribe button. Bye.